With the new Kamen Rider of the Year, Kamen Rider Gavv, finally taking center stage, we've been seeing a lot of snack-themed action grace our screens. Let me know what you think of it so far, but personally, I've been really enjoying every aspect about Gavv. Well, maybe except for the circus-sounding henshin jingle. We were shown pictures of his different forms prior to the show's premiere, and we're starting to see them in action now. At this point, it definitely begs the question, what other forms can we expect from Gavv? In this video, I wanted to try my hand at giving Gavv some new forms that I think could be a realistic possibility given the show's themes and context. So, without further ado, let's get Gavin. Before I go into the forms I developed, I want to take a look at the general styling and philosophy of Gavv's current forms. Gavv's form has his general baseline gray and black suit that is adorned with specific pieces of armor based on the forms he has. The pieces that change are always of course his helmet, in addition to his chest, forearm, and shin pieces. The degree to which these pieces change does vary, as his helmet usually sees more of a significant overhaul while maintaining his eye shape, and the chest piece also making a noticeable change. Design-wise, they've done a great job in making some very creative armaments, like the melting chocolate poncho of Chokodan or the chippy armor of Zaku Chips. The Gavv forms definitely don't play around with their snack-inspired looks, and so far they all look pretty great. To figure out what kinds of forms to make, let's look at what role each form plays so far. Zaku Chips is his sword form, Chokodan is his gun form, Fuamalo is his big hulking strong form, and Gurukan is his mecha type suit. I guess similar to X8's Maximum Mighty X and 01's Breaking Mammoth. With these already established, I needed to think of what other forms I could make that cover an entirely new yet still relevant type of power-up. Also, I need to make sure that it's based on a snack that will most likely be enjoyed by Shoma, or maybe is just popularly enjoyed overall. So let's get snacking and cracking. The first form I wanted to come up with is sort of related to Gavv's base popping gummy form. With the gummy being the main theme, the squishiness of the gummy definitely takes center stage in concept and appearance, especially in his punching and kicking gummy power-ups that give him a giant gummy fist or boot. But there's another aspect of gumminess I thought would make for a good form: stretchiness. To be honest, when I first saw that Gavv's concept revolved around eating and he had these sort of expanding gummy powers, I immediately thought of Luffy for One Piece. So, how about we make a form that allows Gavv to stretch like Luffy? Like Luffy's Gum Gum Devil Fruit, let's make a Gum Gum form. Yes, I know the naming is probably too close to Popping Gummy, and I toyed with the idea of using Taffy instead, but I think gum really encompasses the stretchiness and expansiveness that Popping Gummy can't necessarily deliver. Trying to visualize this was a bit difficult for me though, because sticks of gum are kinda boring and I wasn't sure how to make them any cooler. But then I thought about it, maybe this Gum Gum form is like one big stick of gum or some type of bubblegum tape that covers Gavv up like a mummy. It would at least make up his armor, and he could summon the gummy rope to sling out at enemies or Spider-Man style. His limbs of course would be stretchy, so you notice that it took some mild inspiration from the characters from the ARMS video games. Introducing Kamen Rider Gavv Gum Gum form. After eating the Gum Gum Gochizo, Gavv gains the power of elasticity, able to extend his limbs great distances, drastically improving his ability to maneuver across the battlefield and to stop enemies in their tracks. In addition to stretching, he also gains the ability to inflate himself in order to size himself up to face greater foes. For this next form, I was looking at more snacks that weren't necessarily candy and wanted to dive more into the savory side, much like Zaku Chips. I not only wanted to find a savory snack, but I also wanted to find one that had more of a Japanese theming as well. So as I was brainstorming, I came across a familiar and delicious snack, the Senbei. I'm sure you all must have had one of these at some point, but a Senbei is a rice cracker that comes in many shapes and forms and sometimes comes wrapped in seaweed. It's a nice, light, salty, and crispy treat that's just a really solid snack. Like I mentioned, these do come in a lot of different shapes, and of all the shapes I've eaten, this one caught my eye. This one is shaped like a flower maybe, and while that may be so, I immediately thought it looked like a shuriken, so I had a thought. Let's make a ninja themed Senbei form where he throws these star Senbeis like shuriken. I like this idea a lot, especially because I got to work with seaweed. I felt that it would be naturally used for something like his ninja headband and scarf. I think we cooked up something good, quite literally. Introducing Kamen Rider Gavv Shinobe form, using the Shinobe Gochizo. In this form, Gavv, much like the Senbei, becomes light enough to swiftly navigate through combat scenarios, launching sharp Senbei shuriken at his foes. He's also armed with a giant Senbei shuriken on his back, which he utilizes as his finishing move when he needs to cut his enemies down. The last form I put together is actually one of the first ideas I had. I know that Fuamelo is his big body form, but I assumed it would be more squishy and fluffy than anything, so I wanted to give Gavv an armored heavy hitter form. I wasn't really sure how to do this, especially in a neat visual way, but then I thought of a candy that is pretty in tune with being solid and unbreakable, the Jawbreaker. I chose a Jawbreaker mainly because I thought the inside was really cool. The multitudes of color layers really lends to a complex and somewhat mesmerizing style. That being said, I wasn't sure if this was going to be complex enough as an armor design because I'm really just working with round colored orbs here. I decided to use the orb shapes for his shoulders and chest piece, as well as his helmet. For his eyes, I decided to make them look like cracks in the outer layer of the Jawbreaker. Maybe during his transformation, his headpiece will crack open, taking on a shape more reminiscent of his original, as well as revealing his eyepieces. And what will crack his head open? A giant Jawbreaker hammer, of course. That's really what I wanted to do right away with this form, give him a giant hammer constructed of a Jawbreaker split in half. This form was really fun to put together. Here we have Kamen Rider Gavv, Jawbreaker form, using the Jawbreaker Gochizo, using the main word Gabu but also making it a play on Jawbreaker. In his Jawbreaker form, Gavv receives an incredible boost in strength along with impenetrable armor. While his Jawbreaker armor allows him to withstand the mightiest of blows, it bestows upon him the strength to wield the Gabu Buster mallet and smash his foes with deadly impact. And here are our original Gavv forms. What do you think? Could you see Shoma enjoying these snacks and having forms like these? Let me know. That's all I've got for today. I hope you enjoyed more of my original Toku art pieces. As always, I'll be back next time with more fun Toku topics to Toku talk about. See you all next time.